Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. Right. So my name is Norman Wauda, and I am the CEO of iVolve Technologies. As I think we're joining on time, and majority people are there, so I guess we can start now. So we will be starting with the introduction about iVolve and what we're doing, and then I'll be joined by our partner Hystax, and Edwin will be taking deeper into the Hystax technology, how they're helping customers in the area of cloud backup DR and cost optimization. So our core, let me take you first through in general what iVolve is doing, then we'll go more specifically around the topic itself. So what we are and what we're doing. So iVolve was basically born in cloud 4 years ago, and our focus has been around private and public cloud adoption. We're helping customers in adopting, depending on the requirement, the cloud technologies. So basically we are now more specifically how we differentiate with others, that we spend a lot of time in making sure that customers, when they adopt the cloud, we help them in the planning and build stage, and we help them in the migration stage itself. So that's where we have spent a lot of time in many customers in the Middle East and in US as well, in their journey to the cloud. I will just quickly go through some of the unique capability. We have been helping organizations adopt private cloud, mainly around OpenStack and VMware. And when we mean the private cloud, we really mean that in the fullest form of giving anything as a service, as basic as cloud computing, and then scaling up to services around the more sophisticated services. Okay. So that is, and if you see our adoption in the market, we have many OpenStack deployment. We are helping organizations in the OpenStack deployment in telecom and service provider. And also now we are going into more specialized organization who needs large scale private cloud for their organizations. So moving forward, when you're building the private cloud, either on OpenStack and VMware, the software-defined strategy is one of the most elementary to make sure that we give the agility required, we bring the efficiencies in the data center, and SDN is how we are able to achieve that required agility. Can you please ask them to mute? Right. Sorry for that. So we have on the storage side, we are also helping customers in the software-defined storage adoption, and we have implemented multiple technologies at large scale and helping customers in different use cases, as simple as block storage, object storage, and other storages. So we have customers now utilizing at large scale software-defined storage in their private cloud. Another areas are also implementing hybrid storages, where we are helping customers in moving their on-prem data to public cloud like S3 storages, and helping them to utilize the object storage in multiple ways. So as simple as you want to use an archive, you have a large archive on-prem and you want to move your data to the public cloud, and we can help them by building the right storage life cycle in your infrastructure. That is just one use case of it. You understand that when we implement software-defined storage, you are able to give customers a pay-as-you-grow model, so they start small and they can scale as much as required. And while we are also improving the performance and also improving the availability of the storage. So as you grow, you don't have traditional issues based on traditional storage systems. And obviously, we also help customers that we make sure that they are not locked in by a certain vendor, and we are keeping their infrastructure as agnostic as possible. In terms of public cloud adoption, we are helping customers in the cloud adoption by through AWS, Azure, Alibaba, Office 365 adoption, as well as with DataSat, which is a cloud provider in Saudi Arabia. There are other cloud providers that are also working with them, but these are some of the few, which were to name a few. And we have our practice. We help customer through our consulting services in this whole cloud adoption journey. We have our methodology, which is quite proven, and we are happy to take that discussion with you and your customers if you are a partner. So we have specific credentials with different cloud provider. I will skip through that for the sake of time. We also provide DevOps consulting services. So basically, we can automate most of your day-to-day operation. If you have your software which needs to be updated or regularly patched, or you have regular internal releases, and or you have certain process which needs to be automated, such as quality assurance and so on. All of that can be automated using our DevOps consulting service. We are also helping customers in Kubernetes and containerization of their infrastructure. If you want to go towards a microservice architecture, we are also helping customers in modernizing their infrastructure while moving to the cloud. So everyone knows about the 6 R's of the cloud. So if it depends, we don't necessarily do always lift and shift, which is the easiest way. But sometimes it's better to do certain amount of re-platforming, and that's also where we come into play. As iVolve, we have 24/7 NOC, and we provide customers managed services, and we lower their cost also in terms of their operational team and the amount of support they have to pay to the public cloud provider. So we just don't provide break and fix support, but we are also helping customers in their day-to-day operations. And we make sure that we are monitoring and alerting before it actually have an impact on your system. From compliance standpoint, it's very important for a lot of industries who are regulated. If you believe this is important to your business, then we have the experience in helping customers achieve these compliances. We do the gap assessment, and we can help you achieve those compliances either private or public cloud. With our managed security services that we are providing from our SOC, we can give you advanced services like managed threat detection and response, MDR, and we have different technologies implemented in our SOC, such as SIEM and different advanced tools like EDR, IDS, and so on, which we will bring to your environment and will help you secure that. So you can leave that complexity of securing your cloud and your infrastructure, and we can help you with that as well. So this is where I would ask Edwin to step in. I just want to give you very high level on the DR and migration. So in DR, we have, as iVolve, we have helped many organizations in achieving their required SLA in terms of RPO and RTO, recovery time objective and recovery point objectives, and how we can best build a DR strategy for them from the standpoint of that failover and failback, making sure that consistency of the applications is always maintained, making sure the failover and failback are tested in timely drills and so on. So Edwin, if you would like to start from here.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much for your time. It's an honor to present to you guys. And let me now step in, tell you what Hystax is doing. So what you will expect within the next 45 minutes, or can expect, actually, is that I give you first a high-level overview, who we are, what we do, DR, migration, obviously, and maybe something else as well. And then we give you a technical demo so that the tech guys in the audience also get something out of it. And then we have 10 minutes left for question and answers. That's the agenda. So let me start by sharing my screen. So, and let's go to the start. What is good to know is that everything I'm going to talk about now is general available, field proven, and ready to use at scale. Hystax is a company doing live cloud migration and cross-cloud disaster recovery. Let me make it a little bit bigger and go remove. No, I cannot do it like this. Okay. Our mission is, together with our partners, because we are 100% partner-centric, and within Middle East, our partner of preference is iVolve. Our mission is to make you first move into the cloud and then between the clouds, and also use them in a very effective way. We are founded 4 years ago. We are headquartered in Silicon Valley, California, USA. We have a deep background in disaster recovery since that's our third company, and the second one, which we sold successfully, was a company where we did disaster recovery as a service, being even a Gartner leader in 2016. And then we founded Hystax in order to add to the disaster recovery capabilities also live cloud migration. It's a very similar flow, because if you know how to do cross-hypervisor or cross-platform DR, you also know how to do migration of workloads from one platform to another. So 4 years, but the background is 13 years plus, what the hell, with replication of data. We did 80,000 migrations only the last 12 months and have several thousand of machines protected by Hystax Acura. Under them, Datasat and other companies now I mentioned. We also work with Alibaba in your region, Middle East, Emirates, but also in other regions like Europe and Asia, where we have successful disaster recovery projects ongoing. Some of our customers, Nutanix, Orange Telco, Airbus, Nokia, Burger King, just to drop some names. We have two products actually. The main focus today is on Hystax Acura. So Hystax is a company, obviously. Acura is the product. It's a software which serves for two main use cases. One is disaster recovery, the other one, live cloud migration. And also we have OptScale, which is a cloud cost management platform. Because once you move successfully to the cloud and you use it, you will use it more and more. It's just a matter of time until you lose the overview of your costs. And believe me, then you need such a cloud cost management platform. Let's quickly talk about it. What is the benefit of such a platform? It's unique. So it's not a typical cloud management platform, CMP, as what already exists on the market, which is mainly for provisioning and optimization. So they charge a percentage, like 1.5% from your annual cloud spend. And then they say, let's see what we can do. And maybe by moving some servers from GCP to Alibaba, you can save some money. Maybe not. That's all. And how motivated can they be if they charge a percentage of your cloud spend to really decrease your cloud spend? Actually, other partners who sell such solutions already tell that they recommend to the end customers exactly to just sign these contracts for 12 months, let them do the optimization work, and then cancel the contract. Because after they did their work, and if they really successfully optimized your cloud usage, what should they do in the second year? Our focus is therefore different. We focus on cloud cost control, because even if you don't spend 200,000 but just 150,000 per month because of successful optimization, you still want to know where this 150,000 is spent on which resources, from whom, and so forth. And this is where our approach goes. And we charge per jobs created and not per resources and VMs, and not an annual percentage of your overall cloud spend. It's a totally different approach. Gives you transparency, because if you ever have seen a AWS invoice, you know what I mean. You can create budgets for each department, each user, for each testing, R&D, whatsoever. We do also the comparison, of course, so that you can go to your current cloud provider and negotiate better pricing. And if you need to do some migration, you can execute it directly. That's the unique feature as well, that we not just only give recommendations. What we recommend, what we suggest, you can execute from the same portal, because of course, Hystax Acura features DR and migration, IT resilience, and workload mobility is integrated in the same platform. So Hystax OptScale, keep it in mind, can become very interesting soon as well. Cloud management platform. Now let's have a look at Acura, the software for migration DR. As said, we are partner-centric, so this is why you have a dashboard, which is, of course, and a console, a portal, multi-tenant capable. So our partners like iVolve, they can add sub-accounts for all their hundreds of customers and give the customer also access himself. They can white label it. So we are fully purpose-built for white labeling and partner business. Disaster recovery and cloud migration assessment, which comes before, of course, the first step of everything. Any-to-any disaster recovery and cloud migration, and as mentioned, integrated in the CMP. This is maybe the most important slide, because it shows that we are true any-to-any. You can use us to migrate or to do disaster recovery from any source to any target. On the source side, there's just a limitation by the space. You can add here anything from IBM Cloud, Tencent Cloud, Alibaba, whatsoever. As long as you can install our agents, it works. On the target platform side, it's a little bit more tricky. Here, our solution has to be integrated first. We have to certify these clouds. What we have done, obviously, with the big hyperscalers, or the four, Alibaba as well, we're the only one who has such a fully integrated process to Alibaba, and VMware, private clouds, OpenStack, KVM. This is also pretty unique, because there are a lot of vendors who offer migration and disaster recovery to the big hyperscalers. But if you look for fully automated processes, failover, failback to OpenStack or KVM-based platforms, good luck. This is why iVolve they have a focus on OpenStack clouds as well, and VMware private clouds, why they have chosen us, actually. What we are doing is called lift and shift. So we don't replicate just a single file or an application like Oracle database. It's lift and shift, means we migrate or replicate the whole machine as such, either VM, virtual machine, or physical servers as well, with everything running on it or attached to it. We are application agnostic. We don't care if it's running on the server runs Kubernetes or SAP HANA or Oracle database. Yes, we replicate it if it's running on a server, because it's lift and shift by doing incremental replications. So first we take a full replica and then incrementals. We need to install agents or not. If the source is VMware, which is very often the case, obviously, or OpenStack, we don't even need agents. We can work with so-called agentless migration, where you just deploy another additional small virtual machine directly on the hypervisor or infrastructure level, which detects all the other machines around it. So the difference between internal agents is, internal agent is deployed inside the server, and external agent, let's say, close to the server. Of course, there's no downtime, no interruption of business during replication. Everything happens in the background. You can do as many test replicas as you want. And we also support, as said, physical servers as well, which is not a given. As said, we talk about a fully automated solution, not a tool or set of scripts. A fully automated way to replicate the machines, to do disaster recovery or migration. These are very simplified, the 4 steps. First, of course, you have to do some assessment. What do you want to migrate? What can be migrated? You need to recreate networking parts on the target side. So our software does a lot. We replicate not just data, also metadata, but even Hystax cannot replicate, let's say, VPNs or firewalls there. So there are still parts of the networking infrastructure which need to be recreated first on a target cloud, which is exactly the work of our partners, like iVolve. They offer the professional services, they resell our solution, our software, and add their service on top, which is good for you because you want to have a partner of your region with the same language, the same culture, who can give 24/7 support. Since we are located in the US, it would not be the case otherwise. You can run unlimited numbers of test migrations. You have to create a migration plan, test, of course, and only if you really have the confidence that everything will run in the same stable way on the target side, then you do the cut over. And the same with the disaster recovery, where you have, instead of migration plans, disaster recovery plans, you have dry drills, you test it, obviously, and so forth. The failover, the failback, so that it really works in case of a disaster. Which is actually a good point, because the guy from Accenture, top manager, last week told me that he really believes that 90% of the enterprises paying on a monthly base for their DR solutions, they'll pay for nothing because it won't work. 90% won't work in a real scenario. Obviously, because they don't test it, which you should do. So there are just human things behind it. But it's a matter of fact, 90% doesn't work. Here, the high-level overview how our solution works. This is for AWS. This is for KVM, and you see it's always the same because that's the beauty of our solution. It's always the same, no matter if we replicate, do failover to OpenStack, Alibaba, AWS. The flow is always the same. So your technicians need to learn it once, and then they know it. So this is cool for our partners that with one solution, they can work to all the clouds. Very good if your customer wants to have a multi-cloud environment, because otherwise you need to learn how to use Azure Migrate, how to use Cloud Endure for AWS, and Cloud Engine for GCP, and so forth. As you can see, there are just 2 sides, left and right, nothing in the middle, which is important to take away. Hystax is just providing software. We don't offer a software as a service solution. There's no platform from us. You're not connected to our third-party cloud or something. This is very good for ministries, for financial companies who are really concerned about the privacy of the data. We don't even see anything, because our partner iVolve is going to deploy our solution in the target cloud of their or your customer's environment. So Hystax is always running on the target side. It's a set of Docker containers managed by Kubernetes, packed in a single virtual machine, which is an instance running in the target cloud. From this instance, you would have access to a portal. This is called the Hystax controller, actually, this VM, which we deploy in the target cloud. This Hystax controller includes the web UI, where you download the agent. It's a matter of 5 minutes. And then the agent automatically starts his work. No manual work needed. He detects the machines, takes snapshots, calculates deltas, sends all these data via HTTPS, nicely encrypted, to the controller, who stores it in cloud-native format in volumes. So in the case of OpenStack, Cinder volumes, in Cinder snapshots in Cinder volumes. In the case of AWS, EBS snapshots and EBS volumes. No object storage needed. Very nice, because this allows us to have a very quick RTO, recovery time objective, in case of a failover and spinning up machines, because we don't need to go first to object storage and retrieve the data, which delays minimum 1 hour, the RTO, like Cloud Endure and AWS has to do it, and so many other solutions. Since we store in volumes, we have the luxury that we can boot directly from those volumes. So our RTO, recovery time objective, is just the booting time of the machines. So we talk about minutes. Then when we spin up the machines, obviously, we do it in an orchestrated way. This is what the orchestrator is for. So no need. Of course, you need to have such an orchestrator because you want to spin up machines in a certain order, because there are dependencies. Not start Web Apache server before Windows Active Directory. So you can set this order. This is part of the disaster recovery plan, and then we execute this order. Several disaster orchestration modes in parallel is possible. So there's the orchestration is very sophisticated in our case, and even better, V2V, P2V, virtual to virtual, or physical to virtual transformation is fully integrated and optimized in the process as well. Here you can change the disk size, the resources, the flavors, because 2 CPU on VMware XI is not the same like 2 CPU on OpenStack. And all these things you have, of course, tested, included in the disaster recovery plan. And then when we do the failover, these things get executed on the fly. And only then we start using resources in the target cloud, which the end customer needs to pay for. So before there's a disaster and a failover, we only use storage, and there are no machines, no resources, CPU needed. Only if there's a failover, then we start spinning up the machines, and then we create cost in the target cloud. This was the migration flow, which is the same like the disaster recovery flow. This is why we can skip the slide with the diagram. So always the same, installing agents on the source and our solution running in the target side. No connection to Hystax. That's the most important takeaway. No vendor login, very important for times of multi-cloud approach, because we support our platforms. You can easily switch between them. Agentless replication. It's nice if you cannot have access to the server, obviously, because of compliance issues. Very good RPO and RTO. As said, RTO just minutes, RPO 5 minutes on Windows, 3 minutes on Linux. We can even bring it down to seconds if you do one snapshot directly after another. Full DR automation, which means not just automated failover, but also automated failback. Public clouds always have a more or less smooth flow to do failover into the cloud, but not so smooth to do failback, because once they have you as a customer using their resources, they don't want to lose you. Cross-cloud disaster recovery for private and public clouds. These are the bullet points. Here again, of course, also we can provide you with backup. So if you say, that's very nice, I love it, but the truth is I don't need all this full automation, failover, failback again. I just want to have my data stored in a very resilient way for the next 20, 50, 100 years with some retention policies. We can offer this as well, obviously. This is just a summary. Here, some name dropping. Since we support OpenStack and most telcos have VMware-based and OpenStack clouds, we have a strong presence here. We work with a lot of integrators because they love that they have only one tool for all the targets. Cloud service providers often sponsor the migration because they just want to sell their cloud services, but the customers often don't know how to onboard, how to migrate to the cloud, so they do it with our solution. And then we also have some direct customers from the region, Drake and Skal International, for example, from the Emirates. And you see, as Naumann mentioned, Datasat, for example, also SCCS. These are customers we do together with iVolve. We have ongoing disaster recovery. So as said before, it's available, it's field proven, it's ready to be used on scale. And now let me hand over, because this was obviously a little bit commercial marketing, to Julia, who's our head of engineering, to show you the portal so that you can see how does the downloading of an agent look like, a disaster recovery plan, how user-friendly is it, and what are the standard possibilities you have there. Thank you very much from my side.
Hi. Hi, nice to meet you. Hope you had a great time listening to Edwin and Naumann's descriptions. And now it's my turn to show you the interface of the solution. I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, I suppose you can see it right now. So here is the main interface of the solution that usually our partners see when they log in. As Edwin has already mentioned, the solution is multi-tenancy, so we provide our customers and partners an ability to add and manage several tenants to isolate their customers by using this feature. We call them clouds internally in the solution, and there is an ability, of course, to add different clouds. So they might be added with different in case of Azure subscriptions, in case of OpenStack tenants, projects, and even endpoints, keystone endpoints. I mean, in case of OpenStack. And each particular customer can be assigned with his own cloud in taken in terms of Acura, and this way we provide. This way we provide. Sorry. Do you hear me well? I got. Yeah, looks like. Edwin, please let me know if you can hear me well, because I was told that there are some problems with my microphone. Okay, as far as I see question already, I think that.
I can hear you super well.
Thank you, Edwin. Thank you so much.
I hope someone has had issues. So really, the question is, if someone else also has issues, so can how can we find out if it's only on Nauman's side? It's working.
It was one of the teammates. So yeah.
Confirmation.
Okay, so awesome. Thank you. So coming back to the demo, here are the customers that have been added to the system, and each specific customer can be signed with his own cloud, and this way we provide multi-tenancy and isolation of their resources. As for the process itself, so how to start replication and how to start the migration process, here is a simple flow that helps our customers to see, like, step by step what to do. So the first step is to install replication agents. The second one is to protect actually machines, make replications, and actually get the data to the target cloud, and create a disaster recovery plan or migration plan in case of migration. And finally, run test cloud site, run failovers in the target cloud, new target cloud, and in case of disaster recovery, of course, ability to run failback to get back the failover machines to some production environment. So how the machines appear right over here in the interface? The answer is quite simple, automatically. So replication agents are installed either to machines directly in case if they are internal. And in case of external agents, we have one of them. A VMware agent is deployed as a regular instance to VMware, so it will be a regular machine in your VMware, and this external agent will see all the machines on the host, and will detect all the machines and send information directly to Acura about all the machines at once. At the same time, internal agents, they are deployed directly to the source machines, so they installed and they are run as a services, and they are run on the operating system level. So each replication agent, it talks to Acura and sends the data from the source machine to the target cloud. And Acura itself, it gets information from the replication agent and writes the data to the storage in the target cloud. When the machines they appear right over here in the interface, simple way to start their replication all at once, or even for some particular machines, simply clicking the button on Start Production or Replication in case of migration, and the replication process starts. When all the data is sent, when all the data is in the target cloud, we are actually ready to start the machines to launch them in the target cloud in failover. And there is one thing, one mechanism that helps us to launch them in the target cloud. It's disaster recovery plan or migration plan in case of migration, of course, but all the same is everything is the same for disaster recovery plan or migration plan. I mean, the purpose of them is the same, to launch failover machines in the target cloud, to help launch on them. So disaster recovery plan or migration plan is like a description of a machine, how it will look like in the target cloud, with what flavors it needs to start, with what delays in case of any delays required, in what subnets, with what IP addresses, if there are some requirements regarding the IP addresses. And also an ability, of course, to provide orchestration. We do support and provide our customers with the orchestration feature that allows them to manage the launching process and actually launch machines one by one if there are some dependencies. And it's quite a usual situation wherein there are some dependencies between the machines. For example, of course, I need to start first my Active Directory machine, and right after this all other machines, for example, with a service or even Red Hat, that will start with the delay after the machine with Active Directory starts. As for the tabs right over here, you might see that there are two of them, basic and expert mode, that we provide. Basic is like user-friendly mode with some buttons, some fields to fill in. At the same time, the expert mode provides more techy abilities to fill the JSON format with the extended even parameters, and describe the machines in this way. And when migration plan or disaster recovery plan is created, we are actually ready to start the failover process and to launch machine in the target site. So we simply select it and give it some name. That's it. I can easily now click Run Recover and get my machines running in the target site. It, of course, will take some time because we do P2V and V2V processes for the machines, installing necessary drivers for the machines to correctly boot them in the target cloud. But as for P2V and V2V processes, they are pretty quick, and once they are done, we actually start the machine from native cloud formats. So in case of Azure, for example, or OpenStack, we start machines directly from volumes. So it doesn't take much for them to actually be created and booted. As for the failback process, Edwin mentioned that we have several full automated failbacks that we provide for our customers. So of course, when some disaster happens, for example, even electricity down, or the failover has already got some changes, and these changes need to be delivered back to production. So in this case, failback process starts, and as for fully automated failback, we provide 3 clouds. We support 3 clouds for full automated fallback, VMware, Flexible Engine, and OpenStack. It means that a customer needs just to download a fallback agent directly from Acura installation, deploy it to the production environment, and the data will start syncing. As for all other clouds that we support, we'll also provide fallback option. Just it will be a little bit semi-automated, but we do support a fallback for AWS, Azure, Alibaba, and all other clouds that we actually support. As for the overview of the portal, I think that I mentioned the main parts of the product, and there are 2 questions actually. The first question is, what is the destination environment that Acura can migrate to? So Acura can migrate to any cloud that we actually support. As we're mostly any-to-any, we support quite a lot of them. OpenStack, Huawei, or Flexible Engine, Alibaba Cloud, VMware, GCP, that these are the only ones that I just remember by heart. And so as far as Acura is deployed to the target environment, there will be just an instance running in this particular target cloud, and that's it. So you can get this information directly from our website. And the second question is, in the DR case, did Acura support failover and fallback between physical on-premise to cloud with VMware? So if I understood your question correctly, we do support fallback to bare metal services. Servers also, it will be a little bit semi-automatic, also not full automated fallback, but what is not so clear to me about this question is, what do you mean by to cloud with VMware? Do you mean fallback to VMware cloud? If yes, then we do support it. It's full automated fallback to VMware when a customer needs to deploy a fallback agent to his VMware environment, and just click button start sync to get the data back to his production from running failover. That's it about the questions. Okay, anyone?
Let me join you. There's another one. When will Acura support Target Cloud VMware Cloud Director?
We are not actually integrated with directly VMware Direct, but we support installations with them. I mean that just in case of having VMware, the Cloud Director in the target, after the migration process, there will be some manual steps to add the machines directly to the Cloud Director. We have it in our roadmap, but I just don't have any specific dates for the implementation yet.
And it doesn't, and it also till now did not influence our capability to migrate or replicate to VMware-based clouds. It's a standard flow, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Vasily, for this question. Yeah, any more questions? We have still 12 minutes left. We don't have to use them, so I think we all have other stuff to do. But now it's now or never to ask a question. If not, anyhow, you will get all a recording of this this webinar with the slides, so you can watch and listen it again, and then you will see, like Bashir asked, what are the clouds we can migrate to. This is the slide where I have the target platform, so it's everywhere it's there. And if not, feel free to contact iVolve directly and ask a question or arrange a meeting call whatsoever. Okay. So seems to be no more questions. I don't know if Nauman maybe wants to have a last word. Then just come on stage, please. Otherwise, let me thank you all for the time. I know that time is money. I hope it was interesting enough and added some value. If you don't have a project right now on the table for disaster recovery or migration or cloud cost control, it will be surely just a matter of time. Clouds are still booming 20, 30% per year. We have Vision 2030 in Saudi, and what applies for this vision that we should change from CAPEX to OPEX cost models. This applies to all over the world. So sooner or later, there will be a use case. Just remember Hystax and iVolve.
I thank you. I just want to reiterate on the things that Edwin have mentioned. I just want to mention that we can really help the customers to significantly reduce the cost that is typically spent on disaster recovery, which we are hoping will never use. So it's a very important element that how this technology is helping customers in overall saving that amount of money to do something more useful in their business. At the same time, if they want to continue hybrid fashion, all the different scenarios are supported, so you don't necessarily need to be stick with specific technology. It's quite open and agnostic technology. And in specific to VMware, since as mentioned, it's agentless, so it works quite beautifully with VMware. I see some interest around VMware. We are happy to take any separate discussions and sessions to go deeper into how we can help customers who have deployed VMware Cloud or VMware as just the vCenter alone, all the scenarios we can have, and we will be very happy to assist in any way we can. So thank you very much once again for joining the session, and we really hope that you found this useful. And yes, thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.